Welcome back, friends, to another edition of The Drive presented by oddschecker. Is me, Geoff Fienberg. With me, as always, my guy at ADP Lack Sports over on Twitter. Andy Lack. Andy, it feels like a bit of a malaise maybe since the
Sure.
Masters and a bit of a downturn, but in a week's time, we'll have an elevated event and another major. But until then, maybe there's an opportunity to hit a pretty sweet number down the board.
CJ Cup honoring Byron Nelson.
Okay, there it is. Lovely. And CJ Cup, I guess we got Team South Korea well represented in this field as well. But Scottie Scheffler, Andy, he likes playing these Texas events for the most part. He is a regular at this one before he was the best player in the world. It's nice to see him stay committed to it. 3-1 on the odds board. So that does help other guys get some bigger numbers. I don't know what to make of that. Obviously, he's overly due. So out of the gate, let's just, talk about Scottie. Got another major coming up here. Are we afraid of him this week? Would you consider the without markets? That's not really my jam, but tell me how you might think attacking this one is. And like every time Scottie's here, if you can envision a situation in which he doesn't win, then it actually feels like a pretty wide open betting opportunity.
Yeah, I did not bet the without Scotty market this week, and I don't plan on it. And I fired on a bunch of big numbers farther down the board, and I'm willing to take him on this week. I don't think that this is by any means the perfect golf course for Scotty Scheffler's skill set. I know that he is obviously a Texas resident and will be sleeping in his own bed this week and is very comfortable at this golf course and has played well at this golf course in the past. I think there are a number of golf courses on the PGA Tour that are better skill set fits for what he does well. And I'm viewing it as another opportunity. I fully expect him to be there. I fully expect him to be relevant in this tournament, but I'm willing to step in front of him this week, and I fired on a number of bets farther down the board already.
And if any of your bets have even a pulse this week, you'll be keeping an eye on like Scottie, right? Like if any
Yeah,
of my bets are
of
doing
course.
well, like he will just be like, okay, where's Scottie? Can I actually get this thing to the finish line? You alluded to it, Andy. It's going to be a high scoring week, right? Like huge, low numbers. What Scottie Scheffler does best does feel like it's being neutralized on this golf course, right? A lot of putt luck,
Right.
spike putting
He's going to
week.
need to putt at this
It's
golf
my
course.
friend Pat Mayo said to me this morning, and it's like in some ways you'd rather bet Scottie at 3-1 in like just a super elite field on a hard golf course than 3-1 on this golf course versus like a pretty hyper inferior field. In fact, this field feels like Scottie Scheffler decided to show up to an event that's being played like week 6 of football season.
Totally agree. Yeah. Listen, Scotty has been putting a lot better this year than he has been in 2024, but the inverse of that is that he has not been hitting the ball well enough to win, obviously, 8 times or anything close to the rate that he did last year. So even if you get a solid putting performance from Scotty at 2-1 this week, I think that there are a lot of players that can go out there over the course of 4 rounds and outperform him on over a small sample size.
And I mean, I think the books haven't gotten much Scotty action already today thus far because, looking at odds checker, it's now bigger than it was this morning. A 3-1 consensus number appears to be what I'm looking at. Let's go beyond that, though. Jordan Spieth, wouldn't that be fun? 20-1, not for me, but hey, Jordan Spieth win leading into a Grand Slam opportunity at the PGA Championship would just be like gasoline on these like great storyline things we have going in golf, obviously with Rory, Sungjae getting pushed to 25, Ben An 28, Sammy Burns 28. We'll just keep it to the 40s. Pendrith defending champ 33, Siwoo and Jaeger round out the 40s. I could be enticed to make a move here, Andy,
Yeah.
although I haven't yet. Um, I will say I'm deciding between, I guess, closer to the top, Benny Ann and Sam Burns. One guy wins, one guy doesn't. One guy is very consistent, though, in Benny Ann. Sam Burns has found the driver and is known to spike putt. Like he has that spike putting quality. If you can trust him with the irons, that might be the play. And Benny Ann, I mean, he's on the verge of like being Timu Fleetwood.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I probably have a little bit more interest in Spieth slash a little bit more fear in Spieth based on his course fit here than maybe you do, but I haven't pulled trigger on him here yet either. I started my card at 50
Well,
on
I'll get
that.
to that in a second because I
Yeah.
just right in front of 50 is another guy that I might be tempted with this week. 40 to 1 would be Stephan Jaeger. Bit of the
That's my
driver.
guy. I bet him at 50.
Yeah. Okay. So, Andy on the ball quickly this morning. My hesitation, I've lost a few points. It wouldn't stop me though, but okay.
40 is still a great number.
Yeah. Listen, I hit on Jaeger last year in Texas. That's
Yeah,
irrelevant.
me as
But
well.
his Corn Ferry CV, like I know he can get to this like ridiculous winning score this week,
Totally.
which is
Totally.
something that I can't say about like everyone else I potentially want to bet. Maybe Benny Ann, you could put at the top of that list. I don't know that they can make the putts to get to this number. I can trust Jaeger to do it, but you've already made the bet. You're still in on a 40. You would still back it. So give us the sell.
Yeah, I'd bet Jaeger down to 35 this week, to be honest. And you highlighted a piece of that. He has that win at Memorial Park, which is largely features a very similar character to this golf course. I mean, this golf course in TBC Craig Ranch is essentially Memorial Park with less interesting green complexes. And in another way, it's very similar to another golf course that Stephan Jaeger has played phenomenal at in the past, which is Vidanta Vallarta, another golf course that's extremely driver heavy with a low miss fairway penalty and a large percentage of long irons. In fact, Vidanta Vallarta and TPC Craig Ranch, particularly with the new tee boxes, probably has the highest percentage of long iron approach shots on the entire PGA Tour. So if you give me driver heavy, low miss fairway penalty, high percentage of long iron approach shots, and Jaeger's hitting his irons up there with the best anyone else is doing in this entire field. Give me Jaeger 7 days a week and twice on Sundays to get his second victory in Texas. I'll certainly be there.
Yeah. That you might have just talked me into it there, Andy. You mentioned Jaeger being the first guy on your card. Anyone else in and around this 50 for you, or did we just like flood the deep zone?
Well, there's some guys I have some interest in. Like I was able to catch some good numbers. I was on it early this morning and was foreseeing a lot of movement. But a lot of these numbers that are widely available, I still like them all the way down there. So I guess based on the odds checker screen, the second guy that I have on my card, I bet a Rogue 100 on an offshore buck, but I would 100% endorse the 65, and that's Taylor Moore.
Okay.
Uh, Taylor Moore, he's played well in Texas before. He's another player that has a runner-up at Memorial Park in the past. He's played well in Mexico too. You talk about a guy that's got a ton of power off the tee, has played well in Texas in the past, and can get super hot on the greens as well. Give me Taylor Moore at 65 to 1 would be my next bet on my card this week.
I mean, one thing I will say is the grid, the odds checker grid. It's a bigger friend than normal this week. We have fields like this. I truly feel there is less. There's more discrepancy than normal than like standard PGA Tour events. Books they're not sort of in simpatico on a lot of these numbers, so there's always an opportunity to catch something and find the strongest thing you've got or the strongest one available to you. I've also bet a few long shots, Andy.
Yeah, let's talk about
A
them.
few of them have moved, but so I'll feel
I
good.
would imagine we're on similar ones, right? What, this that same profile, Toasty, Valimaki, Celinda?
Okay, so I'm not on Valimaki. I'm not on Riley, like it seems like everyone else is, but
Yeah,
Toasty and Celinda. Um,
same.
I there were hundreds on Toasty out of the gate. I stared at them for a bit. It went to 90. It didn't stop me. Even the 80s now. I'll re-up with our audience because I still supported at that number. Isaiah Celinda, I was able to get at as high as 125 to 1 out of the shoot this morning. And Kevin Yu would be another guy at 80 to 1. So I am just I got three guys essentially. We'll call them 80 to 1 because that's what their numbers are right now. I could do anything I want. I could just like throw another satchel of grenades at the back, or I could, get cocky and try to call something at the top. But I love the Celinda profile for this course. And Kevin Yu,
You
uh,
bet.
Kevin Yu,
Another
18th
good
in
one.
Houston, 12th in Valspar. Obviously, there's missed cuts in and around that, and not the greatest performance at Mexico. I obviously it's 80 to 1. I don't know if he can spike putt. I genuinely do not know. But the tee to green is phenomenal. And if we catch that spike putter, we're in a Sunday sweat. Big ask.
Yeah, I'm with you. Valimaki, Solinda, and Toasty for me are the big three moves that I've made. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anyone and I can give you all of the bets that I've made. But it's been Jaeger, Solinda, Toasty, Taylor Moore, and Valimaki. So I'm with you on all three of those guys. And the one thing that Solinda, Toasty, and Valimaki, and Taylor Moore and Jaeger for that matter as well, all have in common they have played well before at these long iron intensive driver heavy golf courses with a low miss fairway penalty. Every single one of them. They have that same skill set.
Was there anyone else in the middle, Andy, that you were like hoping to see a bigger number this week, but you just couldn't get it? Maybe a Gerard, maybe a
Rio,
Hitsune.
it's
Yeah,
Etsune. I mean,
yeah.
I'm still seeing his Etsune is 75 to
I
1.
might still want to hit that.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
that's a
missed
good
something
number.
great out of the gate on Monday morning. Maybe I did, but 70, 60, 66, 70 to 1 still seems pretty fair. I might be willing to trust that one.
Where's the 75, by the way? Um, I just want to make sure that I have access to it on one of these Lego bucks. I'm seeing it on the odds checker grid right now, but 75 on his Etsune is crazy.
Yeah, the guy the
That's a
guy like
damn good number.
flirts with mixing a lot. Like he could be on the verge of his big moment here.
Yeah.
Andy's given us a card, four bets, nothing below 50 to 1 yet, but he does, maybe he might make a move on Jordan Spieth or thinks you could feel
Thinking about it.
comfortable making that move on Spieth. I'm going to join you on Jaeger, Andy. I have such full transparency. I have no like really strong feels this week that you talked me you talked me into that one. I'm desperate for a move. I'll still play it at 40. You still might catch me on a Sam Burns, but other than that, I'm in on Celinda, Toasty, Kevin, you. I still think I'm throwing more bets in this range though. Hitsetsune, just to name one of them. At this moment though, I know you got into it early today. If there anyone like over 100 to 1 that you're still like, circling that plane around?
Jesper
Oh,
Svensson.
like that.
Yeah. I have I mean, these are more middle tier, but I have some steady interest in the Hose guards.
Which
Uh,
one? Both?
More Nikolai, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. More Nikolai. Nikolai's a little bit of a better number, and I think he's
I
playing better right now.
if you do believe in here's the thing. I mean, after Scottie Scheffler, I'm not saying they are, but you could make a case for those Hoygards to be in the next like 3 to 4 best players in the field.
Totally agree with you.
So
Totally.
you could argue they are both mispriced. I'm seeing Rasmus as high as 50 at the moment, Nikolai 66. Andy, the golf season comes fast. It comes quick. It doesn't stop. Despite us taking a week off last week for the Zurich, we will be back next week in Philadelphia, and then after that, a PGA Championship.
I know,
Stay
right on
tuned
the
here.
horizon, man.
Yeah, stay tuned into Odds Checker. I'll have everything for you. Use that grid: NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, MLB, golf season. It's major season. We're in it. They feel stacked on top of each other, and we'll be at another one in just a matter of weeks. For Andy, I'm Geoff. Good luck in Texas this week. We're out.